The sun and you and me and all the stars that we could see are moving at 1,000,000 miles a day, in and out a spiral arm at 40,000 miles an hour of the galaxy we call the Milky Way. Hey, and welcome to Making Space, and this one is a little different, and not just because I was using lyrics from Monty Python's Galaxy song. This tutorial is different because I'm showing how to use a pay-for plugin, Trapcode Particular, to create a galaxy in After Effects. Regular viewers will have spotted that my tutorials rarely mention extras. I feel that if you're paying for software, you really shouldn't be expected to spend additional money. But on this occasion, it only seems fair to show how to use Trapcode Particular to create a galaxy, because when I started trying to make a galaxy, I got results really quickly with Particular, and then had to spend ages reproducing the results for CZ Particle World. If you want to see that tutorial, then the link should be appearing right about now. At the end of this video, I'll be looking at both versions side by side, and you can let me know which one you think is better. Let's get started. Here's my 1080p After Effects comp, and the first thing I'm going to do is make a null object to be the central control for my galaxy. So go to Layer, New, Null Object. Make it 3D, hit P to expose the position keyframes, and then set the coordinates to 0, 0, 0. And then go to Effect, Expression Controls, Slider Control. Hit Enter and rename this effect to Radius. And set a keyframe at 0 seconds to -1000. Move ahead to 10 seconds and set another keyframe to 1000. I'm setting the dimensions of the galaxy to be 2000 pixels wide, but provided your computer is powerful enough, there's really no reason why you couldn't set these dimensions to any size you want. You'll probably need to adjust the particle quantities and emitter sizes as well though. Make sure Galaxy Null's radius slider is exposed on the timeline, and then go to Layer, New, Light. Make it a point light and name it Emitter, and click OK. Hit P to expose the light's position properties, and then hold the Alt key and click on the stopwatch. In the expressions area, type galaxySize equals, and use the pick whip to link to the radius slider. And after that, type divide by 145. I'm about to add in a complex mathematics equation which breaks After Effects if the value is too high. So I divide by 145 to convert pixel values to something AE can handle. On a new line, direction equals 1. Our slider is going from negative to positive. This direction variable will let me use the same light for both arms of the galaxy. If brackets galaxy size is less than 0, close brackets, open curly brackets, galaxy size equals galaxy size times -1, semicolon, direction equals -1, close curly brackets. For the first 5 seconds of our comp, the slider is negative, but the formula only works with positive values. So multiplying it by -1 gives us the positive version. And now direction is -1 for those 5 seconds as well. In the page below, expand the description, which is right alongside the subscribe button. Just saying, copy the Fibonacci expression. This does a whole lot of maths for us, moving the emitter light in 2 golden spirals, which just so happens to be the shape of a spiral galaxy. Parent the emitter to Galaxy Null and recenter the Galaxy Null layer. And switch the view to top to see what's going on. Pretty cool, huh? Oops, I've triggered the algorithm call to action detector. Under YouTube's bylaws, I now have to ask you to consider liking my video. Set a keyframe at 0 seconds for the light intensity. And right click on this and set it to be a hold keyframe. Then at 10 seconds set a new keyframe to 0. Particular can use the light's intensity as a multiplier for particles per second, so setting this value to 0 will turn off our emitter. Now for the particles. Create a new solid by going to Layer, New, Solid. Make it comp sized and hit OK. Rename the layer to Particles. And then go to Effect, RG Trapcode, Particular. Set the particle per second to 500, and set the emitter type to lights. Zero out the velocity options, and change the emitter size to XYZ individual. At the 10-second mark, set keyframes for X and Z to 750, and Y to 100. Scrub back to 0 seconds and set matching keyframes. Easiest way to do this is to hit U on the keyboard and then click on the diamonds. At 1 second in, set new keyframes for X to 50, and use the pick whip to link Z to X. Jump to 9 seconds and set the X value to 50 as well. According to the Monty Python song, at the edge of the galaxy it's 3,000 light years deep, and at the centre that goes up to 16,000 light years. So at 5 seconds the galactic centre should have a bulge 5 times bigger than the edge, but that looked wonky. So set Y to 200 and set X to be 200 as well. In Particle, set the lifespan to 200 seconds, set the type to Glow Sphere, and set the size to 0.3. By the time the camera gets up close, we want to keep these particles quite small. Set keyframes for the colour to 0 and 10 seconds. And go to 5 seconds, which is easy to snap to if you hold the Shift key while scrubbing because you've set other keyframes there already. Set the colour to a bright whitish yellow. Set the blend mode to add, and let's add a bit of randomness. In Physics, expand Air, then expand Turbulence Field, set Effect Position to 25, and Evolution Speed to 0. This just adds a ripple to the galaxy so the lines aren't perfectly smooth. That's our stars done. Let's add the gaseous clouds next. Expand Show System and click Add a System. Now for me, the Particle Designer always pops up, but I hit on a problem here. My original galaxy experiments used this included animation for the gas, but the render times were crippling. I was really surprised and wonder if it's become worse after an update. So instead I'm going to use turbulent noise on a solid to get the same sort of look. So just click Apply for now. Make a new solid, but make it 250 by 250 pixels. Name it Dust Text. And make sure it's set at the start of the comp and solo it. Now go to Effect, Noise and Grain, Turbulent Noise. Set the type to Dynamic. Invert it. Set the contrast to 400 and the brightness to -40. Expand Subscale and set the sub-influence to 75 and the scale to 40. Now hold Alt and click on the evolution stopwatch and type time times 1000. This gives us completely different looks frame by frame. Go to Effect, Keying, Extract. Set the black point to 50 and the black softness to 100. This will handle any internal transparencies for us, although the outer edges are still an issue. I tried using turbulent displace with a couple of other effects, but everything felt a bit too uniform. So instead, using the pen tool, draw in a regular shape on the solid, and set a keyframe for the mask path like this. Then tap page down to go 5 frames forward and draw another mask. Expand this mask's properties until you see the path. Then copy this path, either edit copy or hold Ctrl and tap C. Then select mask 1's path and paste. Hold Ctrl and tap V. You can go ahead and delete mask 2 now. And you can see the mask will morph from one shape to the next. Repeat these steps a few more times so you get 4 or 5 random shapes. And after the last shape keyframe, hold the Alt key and tap on the right square bracket to cut the layer off. It's still all a bit sharp-edged. Feather the mask to 30 and reduce the expansion to -10. And then go to Effect, Stylize, Roughen Edges. Set the border to 5 and the edge sharpness to 0. Playing that back and it's pretty random. Drag this layer to the bottom, turn off visibility and padlock it. Back in Particular, set particles per second to 1500 and the type to lights. Zero out velocity again and set the emitter size to individual. Set keyframes for the 3 dimensions and then use U on the keyboard to show both sets of emitters. You might need to hit the All Systems button and pick whip X, Y and Z to the master values. Set the life to 200 and the type to Sprite Colorize. Expand Texture and choose our Dust Text layer, Effects and Masks, and then Random Still Frame for the time sampling. expand rotation and set the randomness to 100. Set the size to 25. And the opacity to 5%. And for set color, I want to have the particles pick up a color change. At 1 second, set a bluish grey. And a corresponding keyframe at 9 seconds. At 5 seconds, set a light yellow. Set the blend mode to screen. And now for the darker dust, which helps give the galaxy that cool accretion disk look. Click on Designer. I can't see an easier way to do this. On the drop down for System 2, select Duplicate System. And then leave the Designer. Solo System 3. And in particles per second, and at 0 seconds set a new keyframe for 500. And again at 10 seconds. And at 1 and 9 seconds set new values to 0. When you see the light approach the center of the galaxy, which is only 1 second in, we don't want dark dust in the very center. So for the majority of the 10 seconds we can turn it off. In Particle, go back into Texture and reset the dust text layer, Effects and Masks, and set the size randomness to 100%, the opacity to 100%, and the opacity randomness to 100%. And set a dark brown for the color. No keyframes, but set the color random to 5, and set the blend mode to normal. Turn the other two systems back on, and last touches. I added an adjustment layer with curves with the following settings, to punch up the core and deepen the dust. And that's it, a 3D galaxy made using Maxon's Red Giant's Trapcode Particular. And for comparison, here's a side-by-side with CC Particle World. It's pretty close. CC Particle World is, fluffier, softer, and there's also a bit harder to make. You can check out the tutorial here. Render times were quite different though. In both cases I used software render only. Particular gives you better control with pixel measurements for everything, but then if you don't own a copy, it's a lot of money. Particular did have one weird issue though. I found that if I jumped to a time after the galaxy is created, without having the comp run step by step through the first 10 seconds, the emitter's Z radius wouldn't scale down like X did. My guess is that the pick whip shortcut messes it up. And that's it for this tutorial. Hope you like it. Oh no, I've triggered it again.